Sit back,
crack open one of your favorite brews,
and join us for the next hour or so. I'm Keith Davidson.
And I'm Papa Joey Stay, and we're your hosts for
The Truth About Beer.
And
we're a podcast and YouTube channel where we talk about all the crap that we're interested in.
And best of all, we get to do it while sharing a brew amongst friends.
Mm-hmm. Today's episode is
The Truth About Beer and
us,
your hosts.
Episode 4.
Ooh.
That's a lot.
All right, episode 4.
There. Episode 4.
Oh, what is this one called?
The Truth About Beer and your hosts.
And your hosts.
Right? This is the truth about us.
We sound like viruses or something.
Sounds scandalous.
So, yeah.
Yeah. With our guest host.
Guest host, yep. Mr. Shane Henning.
Hello.
Welcome to The Truth About Beer and
Shane Henning.
Am I getting interrogated?
You might. You're interrogating us.
The bright light
this time. You're kind of blocked in there right now.
I am. I can't get out.
You ain't going nowhere. You're stuck now. So yeah, like we were talking about just a little bit ago, Shane started back with the band in 2012. The original bass player for Rattlecat Junction, now called the band from Rattlecat Junction.
Mm-hmm. Because we've never been able to duplicate Rattlecat Junction.
Right. So the evolution over the years has been quite interesting. gone through a few members.
Yeah.
So
we have, and we need to talk about our beer.
Yes, we do. So we're featuring Four Peaks Brewery,
a local brewery,
based out of
easy
Tempe.
for you to say.
They have several pubs in the area too, I believe, right? Some in Phoenix, I think, or I don't know. When I was researching, something along those lines. They
get your facts straight first.
I know. What can I say? It's all about the beer.
Yeah. Well, I think they have interesting history, which I without reading it, I couldn't tell you what it was totally.
Well, it was
verbatim,
originally
but,
when the building was built back in 1816.
It was a creamery,
it was a dairy creamery, right?
Yeah.
And then it converted to a studio, which is
very cool.
Which I don't really want to say the name because
Uranus.
Well, is it Uranus or Uranus? I don't know.
Uranus.
Is it Uranus? Okay. It just sounds better.
Yeah. The Jim Blossoms and Stevie Nicks both recorded there.
And then they decided in 1994 to become a brewery. So
the birth of Four Peaks Brewery.
Four Peaks.
And they do have some tasty brews.
They do. What are you drinking? You're drinking the IPA.
This is the first time I've had this Brute IPA. I usually do Hop Knot. But this is very tasty.
Hop Knot is Four Peaks too, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I'm doing the Golden Lager, which is pretty tasty itself.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this one tastes like. This will be later on in the episode. White Ale.
And they also have Kilt Lifter, which is a very popular.
Well, I think Kilt Lifter and Hop Knot are two biggest. I think they're the original, if I remember reading correctly. But
and they have a triple knot, I believe.
that's what Joe was saying. Yeah. Remember that. So so this episode is about you and I.
Yeah.
About how we
why we're doing a podcast.
Exactly. Why
How did we get here? How did we get here?
And how we came to be.
Well, I don't want to give those details totally how I came to be, but
well, we're going to fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
It might be interesting, though.
Maybe a little embarrassing for you.
Nah. Not at all.
So,
okay, well, how did you guys get into the music industry?
I'll let you start, Joey.
because I'm older? Or,
No, I wasn't going there. It had nothing to do with that.
Well,
He said it. I didn't say it. He said it.
I always had an interest in music. So I had an older brother that has played guitar since I can remember, And so I started off trying to play drums when I was in elementary school, and thought I was doing all right with that until my older brother Steve showed me how to play Proud Mary on the guitar when I was about 14, I guess. I know I was in junior high. And I learned that, and gosh darn it, I liked it, and so I learned more songs and just kept that going. Played in, first band in junior high, which I don't remember the name of it. First band I was that started playing and gigging and actually making money. I was a ninth grader, junior high band. It's originally called Exodus, and then we became Strawberry Orange.
Strawberry Orange.
Yeah, and I played with that band throughout high school, and after high school, had a band called Tarkus. Tarkus, a rock band.
Well, I was going to say, that's got to be a rock name, right? That's got to be a rock name.
Became interested in country music because I learned that I could actually make money playing country music. There was a local artist, a young girl in Salt Lake. I think her name was Sherry Quist. That was like a Leanne Rimes type. I think she was probably 12 or 13 at the time. She had a state fair gig, and she needed a band, and so we backed her up, and it was cool, So started playing country until my brother's band needed a bass player, and they were really making good money, so joined them as a bass player. That was a band called Stanley Stone.
Stanley Stone
was a funk band. They tried to name the band Elmer Funk, but there were some copyright problems with that.
I'm sure.
So Stanley Stone was actually a name on a gravestone that was in some cemetery they were visiting, and so I thought, that's a cool name, and so played in Stanley Stone as a bass player, playing funk, and until that kind of came crashing down, and then went back to playing country as a bass player. Played with the band called SC Rider in Salt Lake, and a group of very talented musicians. Our still fiddle player, his name Bill Johnson. He ended up playing with Chris Ledoux.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Touring with them. And,
very cool.
Anyway, I fell upon some hard times during that, and my wife's family, her parents lived down here in Arizona, and offered to let us live rent-free for the first year if we came down here until we got back on our feet. And
thank God for family.
It's time to breathe.
You gotta breathe.
Yeah, I gotta breathe.
Take a
I
breath.
did go on airplane mode. Yeah, I mean, I played in a lot of bands. So all the bands since I moved to Arizona have led up to 2012, and joined up with Keith and Shane.
Rattlecat Junction.
Rattlecat Junction, and we just had a really cool thing going. And
So, all these years, I knew you played bass, but I kind of forgot about it. So why didn't we ever have a bass off between you guys?
No, he'd won.
Bass is still one of those things, if you don't play it all the time, I mean, it just feels so foreign,
So you might have the upper hand.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a long time. It's been 30 some odd years since I was really a bass player. So,
Interesting.
But here we are.
A few days.
I'm sure I missed
days.
I'm sure there's other juicy details I could fill in, but at least.
Well, let's hear them.
It's a good history. She's like, let's do it. Let's lay it all out on the
Here,
table.
let me record this. In case you guys decide to edit any of this out.
He's got the backup. He's got the evidence. Nope, you said this. I heard you said this. There it goes. Interesting. So I started really young playing. I was, I think, 7 or 8 when I started. And, my friends around the neighborhood, we all said, let's put a band together. Let's get a band together. They had no interest. I think one kid went off and played the tuba. It was the only thing he ever did. So I went home, I told my parents, I said I wanted to take piano lessons because somehow I was designated the piano player. Okay, you're going to play the piano player. I don't know why that was the case, but that's how it ended up. So I took lessons. I found out I learned pretty quick. I got through the first couple of books really fast. Even my instructor said it's kind of natural for you. And it was the one thing that I really had an interest in. And I would sit down without anybody telling me, and I'd practice for 3-4 hours a day. I'd practice before school, I'd practice after school, and it just kind of came natural to me, so I stuck with it. My first band was a high school band that we played on my back deck, in the spring and the summer, so all the neighbors can hear us. We did a couple of barbecues. We had no name. We were a no-name band. So.
The barbecue band.
The barbecue band. So we just played for fun. It was a lot of fun. We did rock. A lot of the 80s stuff. We did some of that. We did Phil Collins, Billy Joel, stuff that I still do today. And then my first real band, my real making money band, was a band called Casablanca Blue, and that was back in New York also. I was 18 when I joined that band. And same thing, I was playing in bars, drinking in bars at 18, because you could do that back then. So, and it was a lot of fun. We had a female singer, so we did a lot of top 40 stuff back then. So it was a lot of fun. It was cool. And then I moved out west, and basically the same story. I was told by an old guitar player that I met up who happened to work with my mom at the time. We joined up, tried to put a little band together, and he told me the same thing. He said, the only way you're going to make money out here is to play country music. And my first thought was, country music? I'm from New York. I'm never going to play country music. So I started practicing. Actually, Boot Scootin' Boogie was my first song that I ever learned how to play as far as country went. So I would sit in front of the tape player, for a couple hours, and I would try to mimic, that country accent and try to get it down. I figured I'd have to pass for country if I was going to sing country. So I worked at it. I got so good at it, I lost my New York accent. So now everybody says I sound like a hillbilly when I talk. So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So I bounced in and out of a few bands along the way. Jack, who plays with us now, was in a band called 61 South with me. That was a fun band. We played a lot of different places. Then I was in a band called Texas Toast and Jam, which was another neat little band I played in. And then after it seemed like all hope was lost and I wasn't going to play in a band again, I decided one more time to put an ad out on, I think it was Craigslist, is where I put the ad out. And I was going to start my own band. It was my first time ever trying to do something like that. And I figured this was going to be my last shot to try to get something going. And here we are. Rattlecat Junction was born. So,
yeah, I guess. And you guys found me through Craigslist because I didn't read that ad.
We found you through Tim.
Yeah, Tim found me on Craigslist.
Craigslist. Okay.
Gotcha. I put an ad out because I had kind of the same thing, trying to put other bands together.
Right.
And we get something going, and then guys would quit, because they get another offer with the band that's actually out making money. So that's the biggest struggle out here.
You do this to make money? Who does that?
Or getting paid.
What an idea that is.
Yeah, getting paid.
They're getting paid. Not that it's a lot of money, but they're getting paid. So yeah. So I put that ad on Craigslist, and Tim called me. And it still took a couple of months before I actually joined the band.
I think you came out to hear us one night, didn't you?
Yeah. I came out and heard you.
Hitching Post.
At the Hitching Post, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So how did you start playing?
Well, I was had wanted to play bass when I was in the Marine Corps, and my ex-wife bought me a bass, and we were going to church and needed a bass player, so I started playing, and we moved out here, and Tim played drums at the church I went to, and he was like, "Hey, you want to play in a band?" And I was like, "I'll give it a shot." I wasn't very good, so I was like, figured I'd try it out. And we practiced a lot till I got good enough to at least play out, and that's kind of how I started.
So Rattlecat was the first band real band you ever played in.
That's the first band I played in. Yeah.
Right on.
So started with Rattlecat. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we miss you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because I think the camaraderie we had between definitely the three of us at the time was really good, and it's really hard to find. And not that what we have now is not talented, because it is, but it's different. It's a different chemistry, And I think you kind of miss the camaraderie we had, but still, the group we have now is still very talented, But so that's why I said, so the evolution of Rattlecat Junction has been very vast over the years.
Well, I think the whole thing is we were a family.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, my granddaughter was involved with, your kids, and our wives
We've always
and all
hung out
that.
and
So
did
it was
stuff,
just,
yeah.
yeah.
Right. That we definitely miss.
Yeah.
It's
So
definitely-
it
a lot of
wasn't
fun.
just a band. It really was a family.
It was a family. Yeah, it still is a family. We're still
Yeah.
family. That's why we have you here.
Redheaded
So-
stepchild.
Yeah.
Edit that out.
But yeah, a lot of people have asked me over the years how Rattlecat Junction started as far as the name goes. And nobody knows what the name means. You know what I mean? We tossed around several different names when we were trying to come up with a name. And I think it was finally, I put it to, we came down to like two that we were trying to decide between. Rattlecat Junction was one of them. And there was another one. I can't for the life of me remember
I
what it
wasn't
was.
there yet.
Anyway, I threw it out on Facebook, and whoever I had following me or whoever was in the band, Tim at the time, whatever. So we threw it out there and we said, hey, let's take a vote on it. Let's see who wants what. And Rattlecat Junction came in unanimously. I mean, everybody voted for that. Yeah. So we just kind of stuck with it over the years.
Yeah, we talked about changing it at one point, and it still came down to
It's the name.
it's the name.
It's
You
right.
know, it's us. I mean, it might be. People go, what?
And that's what happens. They call us Rattlesnake Junction.
Yeah.
Whatever the name
What
is.
the hell is that?
We even tried different logos. I mean, we tried the cat. Remember the cat with the snake and everything? We tried all that, and I think the one you created was definitely by far the best one we've ever had, and it's kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So
Until someone else comes along and finishes what they're supposed to finish.
yes, so we're going through a redesign right now.
Redesign.
Yeah.
Painstaking.
But it's okay. It'll be worth it when it's done.
And then it'll really be painstaking.
Yes,
won't
it will be. Yes, it will be. Should we tell Shane?
it? Sure.
Oh, boy.
This is a hint for a future episode, possibly. So Joey and I both decided when we're having the logo designed as you would like a tattoo. So, and it's being designed by a tattoo artist, which I'll remain nameless right now. But we said once it's done and we like it, that Joey and I are both going to go get a tattoo of it on our arms. So because
And make an episode out of it.
and then make an episode out of it.
That's
right.
cool.
Right. So, but I think the Rattlecat Junction meaning for us is more than just the meaning of a band. It really is. It's more than just a name for us.
Well, that's why I think
you know,
it really became a town.
Yeah.
You know, it's a place.
it's a place.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when people say, "Well, where is it?" Well, it's everywhere. It's
Yeah.
everywhere we are.
Where we
So-
were at.
Yeah, that was the most logical step to take with the name. So now we're known as the band from Rattlecat Junction, which I think flows a little bit better. And we don't get as many questions.
No, we don't. Do we? Well, you're the band, huh? Yeah, we're the band.
We're the band. Yeah, we're the band from Rattlecat Junction. So Joey made up a really nice wood sign that we put out at our gigs now, and we've had a lot of our fans that come out to see us religiously. They all sign their names on
Oh, that's cool.
our yeah.
Got our first person to actually use a pocket knife on it this last weekend.
I didn't see that. Was it this weekend they did
Yeah.
that? Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
But they do a good job.
I haven't looked at it.
I haven't looked at it either. We'll have to pull.
Yeah, we were actually
we'll-
tearing down when
Right.
he was working, when he was
Yeah,
doing
we'll post.
it. so-
We'll post it on this episode. I'll take a picture of it and we'll post it up there. That'd be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, there's a big group that comes out when we play at the Silver Pony that call themselves the Pony Up Gang.
Pony Up Gang. Shout
They
out to
all-
the Pony Up Gang.
Yeah, and they all signed it.
That's cool.
Yeah, good group of guys. They come out, guys and gals, I should say. They all come out, they dance and have a good time. It's a lot of fun. You remember the Silver Pony?
Yes,
right?
I do. That was a fun place to play.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Still a good crowd. Still a great venue. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We like it.
Talk about the evolution of Rattlecat Junction from the beginning until now. What's kind of happened and what's changed?
A lot's changed. A lot's changed. We went from a 4-piece band to a 5-piece band. We've gone through steel guitar player, right? And then
Technically, two of them.
technically 2 of them. That's right.
Aren't you glad I'm there?
See, he keeps those little notes. He's gonna bring stuff up forever. So yeah, we had a lot of changes. We've gone through some drummers. I think the good thing about Rattlecat Junction is the core. You're not, are you?
No, I won't say it, but you know what I'm thinking.
I know exactly what you're
You're
thinking.
thinking about the guy who dropped the drumsticks all the time.
Anybody have any good campfires lately?
I think the best night was when we was playing out in the garage and that guy came out and yelled at us. And he was playing the drums. I asked him if he ever ate with chopsticks before.
I thought you were going to talk about the night that we played. What song was that? And it took off like 100 miles an hour. And the steel player at the time just threw it up and said,
was it working? Yeah, Working Man's Blues.
Working Man's Blues.
Yeah, that was actually I was out of town.
You were
then.
out of town, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bill was like, I never seen him play that fast. And he just finally just took the sticks off. He's like, I'm done.
It just stopped in the middle of the song. That was great.
Well, that's what he needed was momentum and able to hold onto his sticks. From if he didn't.
I was going to get a bucket of Elmer's glue and just stick it on there or something. God.
I'd always turn around. You'd see him back there. He'd look like he was falling asleep. And all of a sudden, you hear the drumsticks hitting the ground.
It's the only drummer I knew that had like a 5-gallon bucket full of drumsticks.
Just never know when you might need one extra.
Get him some Velcro gloves.
Right.
Velcro the sticks.
That was great.
Yeah.
We went through a lot of interesting things.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
We have. Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's been friction and stuff, but once Bob joined the band, Bob Goodman is our drummer, just when things solidified and really took off for us. And we had a really good thing going, but not everybody had good things going on in their personal lives. Mm-hmm. And
Pretty much everybody except you.
That was
Let me tell you, Rattlecat Junction will get you divorced.
3 of the 4 members can tell you that.
all within like 6 months of each other, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was nuts. That was a crazy time.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
crazy.
it was.
And it did bring the band kind of crumbling down. You know,
Well,
I tried to keep things going after everybody left.
I just didn't want
Literally
to.
left.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to pay any more child support than I already had to pay. So it's a good time to get out.
Yep, that was a tough couple of years.
Yeah. And so while you were all gone, I knew that the new band they put together, even though we were playing off of the sets and still living off of the gigs that were already on the books to play, had to change the name because it wasn't Rattlecat Junction,
Right.
Right. And so started a band called Breaking Hank, and kept busy for a couple of years, almost 3 years, huh?
It was almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. And Keith had gotten a gig, what originally was talked to
recording.
Schnepp Farms.
Well, that too, but we did the recording too.
That's where we did the Christmas song.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And talked to Schnepp Farms and got them to book us Breaking Hank for a week and Rattlecat Junction for the other week. And so got everybody back together, and we had a great time and said, man, it'd be so good if we could all get back together.
Kind of rekindled the spark a little bit, huh? When we did that.
Then I moved across town.
Then you moved across town. Yep. That was. We got to talk about that off mic, though. We gotta have a
sorry.
conversation about that.
Yeah, we try to keep it a family show as much as we can.
Right.
Sorry. Okay.
I can't bash you too much right here.
Feel free. Go ahead.
So then I think when I came down, we all did the Christmas song together. I made the announcement that I was going to move back to Arizona. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad
We
I
went
did.
and played that gig at that Marine Corps biker
For my
club
boss,
in,
yep.
in
Yep,
Vegas.
In Vegas, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. And then we played The Perch, which was a lot of fun. We played that together as the original Rattlecat Junction.
Yeah, it was just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Remembered how many of the songs I'd forgotten. It's always fun when you're in the middle of the song trying to, how's this go?
Nobody noticed.
That's good.
No, I think,
As long as you guys didn't notice. And
I didn't know. I think they were having good. People were having.
Oh,
a good
yeah,
time,
people were having fun.
We did good. It was fun. So and then we went and did that private gig with you, which was a lot of fun
Yeah.
too. That was a lot of
fun.
Putting that back together. So, but the Breaking Hank name still lives on.
It does.
It does.
Well, it's the band from Rattlecat Junction, basically.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, you can easily say that Rattlecat Junction will never be the same again. So, but we know that. But
Yeah.
it's okay. Things evolve.
Stop.
I was trying to make him feel guilty, but it wasn't working.
He's got his goats now.
He does.
I do have
He does.
goats and a farm.
I take back all those goat videos I ever sent you. Who would ever thought? Shane's got goats now.
I do have
See what
goats.
happens.
How did the idea for the podcast come about?
I'm gonna let you take that one.
Well, I believe that was just a suggestion that you had.
Was it a suggestion I had, really?
Yeah. So when you come back, you'd also like to do a podcast, and I thought,
You sure it was my idea?
I think so. I don't know. It could have been aliens.
I'll take credit for it.
All right.
It was my
it Shane's idea.
Yeah.
We heard Shane talking about it.
Or maybe it was just a conversation that we got into,
Yeah.
talking about different things. And we started doing a podcast or just, doing something.
Now, what the podcast was going to be about was a different story.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
What was it going to be
It's
about?
definitely made some changes along the way. Yep. We went from doing a Rattlecat Junction podcast
As like from the fictitious, town,
Yeah.
Rattlecat Junction, and introducing characters and
Right.
trying to, keep that going. But yeah, that would have been a lot more work. But part of the idea of that was to involve our followers, as far as people come out to the band or bars to hear us and whatnot, just saying, hey, how would you like to be part of this town? Come up with a story about yourself or whatever, and we'll include it.
And we would feature them on a podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
When we started realizing what it would take to put something like that together,
Yeah.
we were like,
I mean, it's hard enough to try to do one every couple of weeks,
Right.
just with this format.
Right.
But boy,
If you had to script it. And,
yeah,
oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
it would be
mean,
very involved.
we were on the right track. We had a good idea. I think you were the sheriff, and I don't know what I was, something. But yeah, we
Could have been the town doctor.
could have been town.
This is a gynecologist.
It's a beer show. You could have been the town drunk.
well, we had one of those too. So
Yeah, well, everybody in town was a drunk.
It was a drunk. Yeah.
In fact, they all had beer names or liquor
Some
names.
kind of liquor name or something. Yeah. It kind of got a little.
It was J.B. Morgan was the
the founder. J.B. Morgan. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good idea, but I wanted to do more of a reality based podcast, and we were gonna split off and do the two of them, but then we decided to maybe try to combine it a little bit. Do some episodes about local musicians and feature them and talk about the music, and then the other ones would be about whatever other crap we want to talk about. So.
which is basically where we're at.
Was basically where we're at. Well, we find stuff that's interesting. I mean, like I said, we've learned a lot in the first 3 podcasts that we did. I mean, it was
So we've been going back and forth quite a bit about different ideas, and then Keith shoots me a text and says, let's do one just called The Truth About, and it could be whatever. And so I shot back a text that says, I'd have to include alcohol. And then he said, and then he came back with, well, how about The Truth About Beer? And I go,
yeah, that kind of stuck.
That's a good idea.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we try to stay local as much as we can. I mean, there's only so many breweries here that we can feature, but we try to feature whoever our guest is at the time. We'll try to find out what their favorite beer is, and we'll feature that beer. And
I kind of run it for you today then.
You did. So, well, not really, because you're our guest host, but we're
okay.
So we're technically.
So you guys are technically. There you go.
So we kind of circumvented the issue there.
That's good.
By having us be the. I'll shut up now.
But after Keith did a little research on Four Peaks and we learned about the music connection and all that with that brewery, we thought, oh, that's the perfect beer for this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Fits our category really nice. So we our first episode was the Truth About Beer and Snakes. So we went to the Phoenix Herpetological Society and did a little on-site podcast with Joe Himes, who was their venomous keeper. So we talked about rattlesnakes and
that's cool.
Got to take a tour of the facility, which was really impressive, and that was a lot of fun.
It's quite the facility.
Yes, it was. Lots of alligators. You ever want to go see a lot of alligators? That's the place to go.
Where's this at?
It's in Scottsdale.
Scottsdale?
Yep.
Yeah, they have the largest or second largest, whatever you call it, group crocodilian in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And every corner we turned, there was more crocs.
Yep.
All kinds, alligators,
All
caiman,
kinds of snakes, all kinds of it was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and our second podcast featured Julia Grayling, which was a lot of fun. She's a local artist, and she played some of her songs for us, and it kind of led nicely into our third episode.
Yeah,
because she had a paranormal experience a few months prior to doing the podcast, and she was able to talk about that on our podcast. So that was kind of neat. That was fun. And
just since we're talking about that episode right now, did you know you can turn closed caption on YouTube?
No.
And it'll translate whatever it thinks you're saying.
Oh boy.
It's hilarious. And so I had it on for that episode by accident.
Right.
And it come across Julia Gravy.
Sorry, Julia.
Yeah. So if you see that episode, you'll see that Jack questions me, "Did you say Julia Gravy?" And I said,
"Yep,
no, it's Julia Grayling." But no, but if you do closed caption, it says hilarious. Julia Gravy.
That is funny. That is very funny. She even said she was going to change her name to Gravy, remember?
It's creamy and tasty. And who doesn't like gravy?
Who doesn't like gravy?
I love gravy.
Yeah. That was a fun episode. That was a lot of fun. And then our third episode was with the paranormal group that we met up with and went to the Healy County Jail. And that was our first ever investigation. And we had some experiences that night. It was a lot of fun. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Why?
No, it was. I want to do it again. It is that much fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got touched, so it was interesting. Not like that. I didn't know you were gonna do something with that.
I don't know. How did you know?
I don't know. I'm psychic.
That's what I thought.
So
that could be your next episode.
Right?
Keith's a psychic.
Anybody who knows me will not believe that for a second. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I thought I was going to be scared, but I wasn't. I wasn't scared at all. But it was very interesting.
Yeah, it was very warm.
It was hot as hell.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. There's about 110 in that place. The only AC was in the main entry when you came in.
Oh, really?
A little room off to the side that had a little air conditioner, but
and then his arm got cold.
Yeah, it was weird. So after I got touched, we had a FLIR camera that was looking at my arm, and from here to here, my whole arm went blue, and all this was red.
Oh, that's
after I got
crazy,
touched.
man.
So, yeah, it was definitely.
That's where he got touched.
It was definitely crazy. So
yeah.
We'd love to do something like that again. That was fun. But our whole idea from the beginning was to feature like a series on just fear of things. That's why we started with the snakes. That's why we did the ghost hunt thing, and we have some other ideas in the works.
I'm scared of bees.
We said we were going to do an episode on bees.
Yeah. I mean, I like bees because I like honey.
Yeah.
But I'm scared of them. But I won't kill them. Yeah. I just run away from them.
That could be a whole nother conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about what else were we talking about? I'm drawing a blank now.
Are we talking right now?
We are talking.
What's
right
going
now.
on? What are we doing here?
What?
Who are you?
I don't know. Who am I? How did I get here?
Oh, we talked about the apocalypse
Oh, yeah.
and the different that could possibly happen, and how alcohol or beer specifically would play a role as a commodity. So that we thought that would be kind of interesting. I want to do one. I was thinking about this the other day, and I want to do one on selfies because I was reading somewhere that there's a lot of death that occurs by people taking selfies, and it kind of blew me away. Like how many people die actually trying to do a selfie, and it's like,
Yeah.
While they're driving in their car.
Well, besides that, I mean, there's people falling off of cliffs and all kinds of stuff.
I saw one yesterday. I was reading an article. A guy in Mexico, they actually have this river, and it's full of all these chemicals and soap. And he was wanting his friend to take a picture of him while he was standing by it, and he actually fell in the river and died.
And died?
Yeah. It took him a few days to unbury him out of all the soap and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Yeah.
And it's not just selfies, it's the dang cell phone, period.
Period, yeah.
You know, or
Yeah.
the smartphone.
Yeah.
You know, people are constantly on it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, not really paying attention to what they're doing. And you see plenty of YouTube videos, you know, that turn out to be kind of funny, but, you
Not
know,
for
there's-
them, but hey.
Yeah,
People falling into
at their
train tracks
expense
and
is
stuff.
pretty funny.
Well, you see videos of people walking across the street and they're texting, not paying attention to the cars coming, and you know it's crazy. And we're guilty of it though. We do a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of selfies, but we're kind of standing still when we do it. And we're on a stage usually, so you're not going to get hurt that much. But never know. Good, I guess.
Just be mindful of where you're taking your selfie.
Yes. Don't do anything stupid.
Well, that's part of the fun of taking selfies.
What, doing something stupid?
Yeah.
The duck lips. That's the stupid thing. All the girls that take their selfies with those stupid duck lips.
I think we need to take a selfie, Joe.
Well, don't laugh because we will do a selfie for the episode. So.
That's okay.
Oh, we got some train tracks down the road. We can always do
Yeah.
a selfie.
I remember taking some pictures out there a
I
few
do too.
times.
A few times.
You know,
Luckily, there's no trains anymore. But hey, yeah.
in the dark one night. Remember that?
I do remember that. I don't know if you were in the band then.
Oh,
yeah, I
man.
don't think you were yet.
I can't remember what happened.
We were trying to beat the sunset.
Yeah, but somebody
Yeah.
done something to like slow us down really bad.
Yeah.
And then we got out there and it was
getting
getting dark.
And then you
Needless to
tried
say-
to beat a train?
No.
No,
We tried to beat the
just-
sun going down
Yeah.
to get pictures, and
Oh.
that didn't work out too good.
No.
I don't think we got maybe one or two usable pictures out of the whole thing.
Got a lot of pictures of the
Yeah, the
dark.
sun won't wait for anybody.
No.
People's eyes shining in the flash.
It's like raccoons.
Well,
Yeah.
So after everything happened with Rattlecat Junction, Branky Tank, you came back, you guys started Rattlecat Light. How-
oh yeah,
RCJ Light.
RCJ Light.
Interesting. Yeah. How did that evolve?
Oh, well, it could be me because I've always tried to get other people in bands that I've worked with to do a duo thing. I
Yeah.
try to do something with Phil and try to do something with Jack, and you know the problem is they're like me. They don't have a lot of motivation when it comes to going out and getting work
Right.
for that kind of stuff. And plus, we never got together and tried to practice anything. So, knowing that Keith is a go-getter, and him coming back, okay,
Did you say goat getter or go getter?
go-getter, yeah, go-getter. Yeah, knowing he was coming back, I thought, well, this is the time to try it again because it would probably happen. And, well, we actually tried it before you moved away, but
We
too
did.
much
We
was
talked-
going
yeah,
on.
we talked about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
too much going on. I got business cards that we made up for that one.
That's right.
But yeah, we just didn't.
Just never took off.
No, too much going on. Like I
took off.
Yeah, you took off. Left me with a whole bunch of cards.
I know.
You guys still playing this Rattlecat Light, or?
Yeah, we still gig occasionally. Our first gig was at Garage East over in Gilbert, which is a great place to go check out, especially if you like wine. We went there on a jam night. They had a open mic night, whatever you call it. And then Joey and I went to listen to what was going on, and we brought our instruments with us. We kind of sat out there, had a drink, had a couple of drinks, was watching what was going on. We said, yeah, let's go grab our instruments. So we went and grabbed our instruments, and we played to a couple of tracks, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of tracks on my phone. So we played to that, and the owner came out and said, I want to book you guys. We really like you guys. So the audience responded really well to us. We did some rock and roll tunes, and it was a lot of fun. So from that point on, we just started booking duo gigs.
Yeah,
So along with the full band as well.
Bourbon Jacks as a duo, and we did Norton's as a duo.
We did
once.
Norton's as a duo. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Norton's
Corner.
Queen Creek.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Norton's. I was thinking of the place out in Apache Junction.
Oh,
Skies.
Skies.
Phillies.
Yeah.
Phillies. Yeah.
Yep. So. Yeah.
Turn it down.
A lot of magic happened out there.
Most fun you can have as a musician is playing whenever you can actually hear the people across the room talking over you playing.
Right.
So
That was exciting.
yeah, it was.
Yeah. I heard a lot of conversations that
I
night.
did too.
Couldn't hear what you were doing.
No, couldn't hear what he was doing either.
Heard a lot of conversations.
Remember that guy come out and yell at us, turn it down? Joey'd always turn around and act like he's turning it down.
There, it's
Be
down.
like that far away from the knob.
We got it. Yep. Turn it down.
Is that better? Yeah, it's better.
That's funny. We actually did, last time we played Garage East, we normally play outside on the patio, but now that it's getting hot, they moved us inside this particular day we were there. So when we play with tracks, we have full drums going, we got everything going. So we were like, we don't want to blast these people out. So we decided we're not going to play with tracks. We'll just play, Joey and I just kind of going through the tunes. And it actually ended up being, I think, more fun.
Yeah, that's the
than playing
funnest
with
I've had
tracks.
since we started doing the duo.
Yep.
I think it's
So I think that's kind of the direction we're going to head from this point on. I mean, it's nice to have the drums and the bass and everything, but
yeah. Well, I think with that, the issue is we have to use the in-ears, and really when we wear the in-ears, we shut ourselves off from the audience.
Right.
You know, so there was just a lot more interaction between us and the audience when we didn't have to have the ears in. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and that was, and you actually walked away that night being able to hear. You know, your ears didn't hurt by the end of the night, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So I think we're gonna kind of head that direction. We also talked about we want to feature some different types of music in our show. We're thinking about doing some not really remakes, but singing some of the old TV shows.
No,
Like
that's
the
theme
themes of
songs,
some of the old TV shows.
I thought you meant you was gonna do like reggae or rap or
No,
something.
my dreads don't look that good anymore.
Do some heavy metal out there.
No. Well, you know, Joey's always teasing with the Love Boat theme, you know. He's always playing around with that. So I was like, we should do like Cheers. We should do Three's Company.
Well, yeah.
Well,
It was like that night. I did the Love Boat thing.
Yeah, I remember doing
it. Well, I mean, at Garage East
Oh, you guys
last
did
time,
there? Yeah.
I did it, and
people started singing along.
the crowd started
It was
singing
great.
it. It was like, okay, well,
was
they're
a lot of
digging
fun.
it. They're digging
Yep.
it. The Love Boat.
So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I think that's kind of the direction we're going to head. I mean, typically when we play, it's especially at Bourbon Jacks, it's during a happy hour, so they don't want to hear full on rock and roll tunes. I don't think, you know, they want to hear just the fun. What do they call it? Happy hour songs,
Happy hour,
right? Happy hour
music,
so,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the direction we're going to head a little bit. So
Yeah, it'll be fun.
yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll see where that takes us. Try to get some more venues. And we still got the full band going. We're still booked to the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of gigs with that.
Yeah,
So,
and I'd like to keep it going if we can.
for sure.
'Cause it's a lot of fun.
and I think we're still, I don't know, we probably got to start on it soon if we're going to do it this year. But you know, we keep trying to release a Christmas song every year. So we had to pick one for this year and do it.
Yeah. So we're only 5 months away from.
You really just had to say that.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, but better to get started now.
Yeah. What song are we doing this year? Did we decide?
Oh, we haven't really. We picked a couple that we thought might be ideas.
You wanted to do
like Chestnuts.
the jazz, the jazzy version.
Yeah,
of
the
it.
jazzy version.
Yeah.
Christmas song.
That'd be kind of cool. So we'll have to have you back in the studio to do it with us again. Yeah, that was fun. We did. We got a lot. When we did "Mary Did You Know," we got a lot of compliments on it. We really, really did.
Yeah.
That turned out really well.
One gentleman come up and tell you he and his wife cried.
Yeah, and they cried when I said, "Was it that bad?"
Must have been when I was singing.
They're like, "No, it was beautiful. We loved it." And they said, "Can we buy it somewhere?" I said, "No, you can't buy it. I'll send it to you."
Hold on, I'll make a copy. Here's my phone number.
Do that in the back of a van. Here you go. Hot off the press.
Hey, I have a van. That works out great.
Right? There you go. That's awesome. Funny. So yeah, hopefully eventually we'll have a full Christmas album.
Yeah.
Enough years.
Yeah, maybe.
By 2030.
Yeah. Finally put together a full Christmas album this year.
We'll be in an old age home.
13 years in the making.
By that time, we'll have nobody to sell it to. So. Be passing it out in trash bags somewhere. This is my CD, please.
What's a CD?
My grandpa told me about those.
That's funny. That's so true, too. God, that's scary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Think of all the mediums that I've gone through. You know.
8 tracks?
Yeah, 4 tracks even.
Wow.
What did those look like?
They look like 8 tracks, but
Only 4.
Yeah. Well, exactly right, you know. So an 8 track, because it was stereo, so you had 4 different times that it would click over to the next track, right? Well, a 4 track only had 2 of those. So it was like an album, you know, side A, side B.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And but they looked just like an 8 track, but when you plugged them into the machine, they had this little wheel that popped up into the middle of it, so it had a hole in the bottom of it, and that's what drove the tape. You know. So when the 8 track came out, they got rid of that and had the gizmo inside the machine drive it from the front side of the tape instead of the back side of the tape. Yeah, of course, the album, or, you know, the good old vinyl. And cassette tapes, and then CDs.
And now
we're back to vinyl again.
Yeah.
Anna's into that.
Yeah.
She's got.
It's gotten popular.
Yeah, sounds
Which is
great,
really,
too.
it does, yeah, because it has the full audio spectrum in it, you know, as far as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not as compressed.
Right.
You know, because to get a song on a CD or MP3 and all that, they compress it way down to make it fit, because it's a file size. You know, where an album, it is what it is, and you've got the full dynamic range. That's what I'm looking for on it. So
that'd be a fun episode to do. Evolution of playback devices over the years. That'd be kind of fun to do. So the 4 track came out before the 8 track.
Mm-hmm.
So the 8 track was like the...
Yeah, so when the 8 track came out and people had 4 track, you know, tape still,
right.
In order to play them in an 8 track machine, they had these plugs you could slap up inside the 4 track.
That's crazy.
Then you could play it in your 8 track machine.
I remember my parents had a car when I was growing up, and they had an 8 track player in the car, and I remember that. It was crazy.
I remember my dad had one in his truck.
Yeah, I had one in my car. It was always the worst when it ate it, you know. Pull it out.
I see those Facebook posts all the time where they put a picture of a cassette tape and a pen next to it.
Yeah,
to
did you get
rewind
it?
the tape again. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, I remember doing that a few times.
mandatory tool.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, if you like, I remember me growing up doing music. I didn't have the money to buy any kind of equipment or anything, so I bought a dual cassette, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would record on one, and then I'd play everything and sing a track, and then I'd put it over to the next one and record my backup vocals, and that's how I did it back then. And it came out all right, but
A lot of work.
Oh, it was a lot of
Yeah.
work. It was a lot of work. And if you're screwed up, there was no, back click or edit undo.
Well, basically, like when the Beatles and all them were first starting out, most they had were like four track, reel to reel machines, and so they had to do a lot of that. They'd record 3 tracks, bounce those 3 tracks to the one remaining track to open up 3 more,
Right.
and then so you're pretty limited on your track count.
Yeah.
I have to do the math, and I can't do it right now.
That's kind of crazy to think back then how they did film scores then. Because you have a full orchestra. I mean,
Yeah.
did they record it on 4 tracks maybe, and that was it, right? I mean, that'd be crazy to do that.
Yeah,
The
and a
whole
lot of it had to
orchestral
do with
sound.
how they set up the room with the musicians, and that's really where the word arrangement came from.
Right.
It wasn't so much of the score itself, it was how they set the orchestra up in the room and set the mics up. That was the arrangement,
Right.
so that it would capture everything. Yeah. Interesting stuff.
You know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing more episodes coming through. That's what I'm seeing. This could be a lot of fun. I like that. Always thinking of new ideas. It's a good thing. So I'll ask you then, because I know my opinion.
Who, me?
You, Joey.
Yeah.
Because I kind of see what my vision is, but where do you see the truth about beer going eventually?
Well, I would just like to see it keep on going, and every episode we've done, I've learned something new, and it's just been a reason for living. And I could see it taking off at some point. It would be a lot of fun.
Be nice to get a big fan base because.
Yeah, but should we look at the camera? Because a lot of it would have to do with, our listeners and those that watch our podcast or our
Right.
YouTube channel. Sending in ideas, thetruthAboutBeer@gmail.com.
I'll send you an idea right now.
I don't have room in here for goats. So.
One at a time. They can stand on the table.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the whole premise of the thing, it's just wide open to
Whatever.
anything.
Right.
And we just like to put stuff out there that people want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely want to build our audience. I think I like being able to share the knowledge with people. Whatever our guests have to share, whatever we learn, be able to share that with people. I think that's the most fun for me. I love learning.
Yeah, I do too.
Everything we've done, we've learned something so far. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely want to
Keeps
keep
the
it
mind
going.
younger.
Yes, it does.
You want to learn about fireplaces?
That sounds like a great
You
episode.
know what? I've gone down that road before. I've actually done that before. Sad to say, I don't want to do it again. But hey,
There's always a spot for you, Keith.
I know. I've been told there's always a spot for me. But I think the truth about beer might be where it's at. It's my retirement plan.
Fireplaces?
No.
Beer?
No, let me put that on record. Beer and talking about beer. I like that. The truth about beer.
Mm-hmm. This was really good. I might have to look for some more of these. Brute IPA.
I think you should crack this one open and try it, but I haven't tried that one yet. But the Golden Lager was good. That wasn't bad. This one is white ale, Belgian style.
So it'd be your Blue Moon
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yep. Orange peel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
spices. Yeah, get close to Blue Moon.
Doesn't have any of that
Coriander?
Coriander in there?
We,
You know what coriander is, don't you? We learned
we
what
didn't know what
coriander is.
coriander was either.
What is
we
it?
had no clue what it was. We did our first episode. Blue Moon. We were
Blue Moon,
featuring, yeah. And I'm reading off the list. I'm like, it has coriander. And I'm like, how's coriander? Is it a flower? Is it? It's actually cilantro. Yeah. I did the research on it.
That's
It's just a different
interesting.
form of cilantro,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Interesting. I was waiting for somebody to correct me on it, but nobody ever corrected me on it. So
Turns out that coriander is cilantro.
it is cilantro.
Yeah.
See, you learn something every episode.
And if you don't, make
Might
it
be
up.
useless knowledge, but you know.
Yep, very much so.
So, what do you see the future of Rattlecat Junction?
Ooh,
The band from?
the band
Oh,
from
sorry, the band from
the band from okay.
I mean, Rattlecat Junction will always be,
a special place.
just will always
Will
be.
always be. Yeah. It is a special place to somebody.
It was a special place for me.
Yes, yeah. Special place for us.
Kept me away from my ex-wife. A lot of nights. It was great.
Oh, there's another episode. Gotta write that one down. The future for Rattlecat Junction. The band from Rattlecat Junction.
Band from Rattlecat Junction.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
But
RCJ Light will keep on
we like
moving on.
the band from Rattlecat Junction to keep moving on into 2020, hopefully, and then maybe further on from there.
Yeah.
But you never know. Because, I think the hardest thing to do with a band, as we found out, is to get 4 or 5 like-minded, guys that want to stick together and want to do the same thing. Everybody's got their own agenda, so I think it's kind of hard to say what the future would be, other than we hope it stays together.
Yeah. I mean, one thing's for sure, you and I will be driving it,
Yes.
if it does continue on.
Yep.
Which, like you said, hopefully it will.
Hopefully it will.
And
Yeah.
who knows? There may be a return of some other past members. You never know.
Never know. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge. Even for a couple of days. You never
Yeah.
know.
Tell
You
me.
never know. Really? You gotta go there.
You can edit this, right? If you want to do it, I'll leave it alone.
Don't even. I don't have that much money to buy that many drumsticks. So. Was that not the one you were talking about? Somebody else. Well, we could probably check the psych ward for one of them.
Which one did that? I think of. Remember that one weird guy we got that played that? He was a taxi driver. He hadn't played for like 20 years. Do you remember that guy? That he told us that he couldn't get. What did he say?
I can't groove with
Yeah, I
you
can't
guys.
groove with you guys. I haven't played in 20 years, but hey, it's you guys, not me.
It's your problem.
Man, he could bang the crap out of them drums.
He could. He was
And that was
grooving
just
with
the
something.
wrong place to be banging there.
Yeah.
Right.
Good old,
Right.
that
Yeah.
place.
But the memories live on.
Oh, yes,
That's the
they
thing.
do.
The memories do live on. Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm not trying to make any predictions, but I think the truth about beer is going to kind of overtake a lot. I have a feeling. Because it's so open. We could talk about whatever we want. So the,
Yeah, it
the
really
episodes
is.
are never ending.
Have
Really?
you guys done Breckenridge yet?
No.
You should try that next. They have vanilla porter. It's great.
But where are they based out of?
Colorado.
I'm
Good
not
beer.
going to Colorado, though.
We don't have to go to Colorado. Just buy the beer.
Yeah, there's good beer all over the place.
Yes.
But
I guess you're
there's-
trying to keep it local. So
Well,
Well-
we're starting local because
We want to support local.
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are some really good breweries here. So
yeah, there are.
Four Peaks being one of them.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We have a
One
good
of the cool
selection.
things about the little breweries too is they all support each other.
Right.
Whereas like you got the bigger breweries like Anheuser-Busch and Miller Coors are fighting each other, but Yeah, the smaller breweries like Four Peaks, Sandham Brewery, you got Prescott Brewery. They all like work together and want to see each other succeed. And it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I'd really like to do this year is go out to Oktoberfest at Tempe Town Lake and
Sample all the beers.
that would be the bonus part of it.
Do
a live podcast, from out there and just talk to people about different beers.
Can you buy a booth? Can you get a booth?
I don't know that much about it. So
I'll have to look into that because that would be a lot of fun. That would be cool to do.
Set up a green screen inside the booth and yeah, that could be
have
cool.
Some guests stop by the booth. You never know who might stop by.
Yeah, you never do.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I like Oktoberfest. Get some good brats and beer.
And it's the right time of year.
It's perfect.
Yeah, right when it's getting ready to start cooling off.
Right. Yeah. I was sharing. I was being nice.
I like it.
It's pretty good actually. It's not bad. It's got a different flavor to it. I don't know if it's Blue Moonish, but it's good.
It's got that
coriander smell.
It's got some spice to it. That's what I like.
Put that in a taco.
You can pair that with your salsa and chips.
Fry up your carne asada and some of that. That'd be good. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Good to see you again. And
good to see you guys too.
Always a pleasure.
Hopefully we get to see you a little bit more often. Be nice.
It would be.
Come out on a couple of ghost adventures with us.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
It'd be cool.
There's a lot of cool places in Arizona that we can check out.
Be nice to do another original Rattlecat gig. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Welcome to the truth about beer.